So let's go and talk about a hacker. So the first thing we want to do is we want to think like a hacker. So we're going to go in and what do the hackers do to get to us? And this is a lot like, you heard about it, especially 15, 20 years ago when there was a lot of break-ins in neighborhoods and stuff. And what burglars would do is they would walk around the back doors and just try to find the back door that was unlocked and no dogs barking. And they would go in and burglarize the house. So they're going for the lowest hanging fruit. Don't even have to break any windows, don't have to make any noise. They do that. So it was relatively easy. We were allowing people to get into our house. So if we use our computer as our house in that analogy now, that's exactly the same thing that the hackers try to do. They go after the lowest hanging fruit. And what is the lowest hanging fruit? It's having a weak password for your accounts. So either not changing the password or making it something like ABC123, or using your name, using your dog's name, using your grandchild's first name, using your birth date. All those things are easy for hackers to try to play with and figure out. So you might ask me about grandchildren's names, dogs' names, things like that. How would the hacker know it? We'll talk a little bit more about that in a few minutes, but it really deals with Facebook and social media. So what you want to do is have a relatively difficult password that doesn't make sense to anyone but you and not something commonly known to you. So Adam, I'll try to answer your question a little bit now about what happens if you do see, like the big example a few years ago, Target got hacked. Big stores got hacked. One of the places where I got some prescription drugs at or got a shot actually, was at a drugstore pharmacy. The drugstore got hacked. So two things happen when your data may have been breached by another big company that has information on you. Two things that you should typically do. Almost all of them now, Adam, the federal government requires that they give you a year's free of the virus scan protection. And so this is a company that will go in and be able to see if somebody has gone in and hacked your computer. They will send you an email once a month letting you know what's happened. So that's the protection sort of behind the scenes. Typically, you do have to sign up for it. And then the other thing you can really do, Adam, is change some of your passwords, because what they've gotten is your password, right? Because that's what's been hacked. So if you have any indication that somebody that you have some information with has been hacked, you want to change your password. So that's what you can do proactively, is change that password. So now that information they have, they're still going to have your name, they're still going to have your address, they're still going to have your date of birth if they got into that sections. But at least if you change your password, or passwords on your different accounts, you have some additional layer of protection. And so when I say change your passwords, you may have some accounts with passwords that really, they're just informational purposes only. It may be a stock page to look at something, all those things. You don't necessarily need to change those because there's nothing there they can get from you financially. But you want to make sure you change your bank account password, your credit card passwords, anything that has sensitive data or financial data. If you understand that one of the vendors that you've been associated with has been hacked, that's the best thing we can immediately do, is change some of our passwords.
Can I ask you a question about the virus scans?
Sure.
So there's a vendor that provides these, or how do I acquire a virus scan?
Well, you can go out just independently, even though there's nothing wrong as far as you know behind the scenes. You can go out and buy virus scans for your computer for a charge. Okay. McAfee is one of the well-known ones. There's a few other virus scans out there. I can give you the names. As you know, you'll get an email from me at the end of the class, It comes from GetSetUp, but it's one that I put together. I will put a couple names, Barb, on there
Okay.
for you. I'll make sure to put that. It's not on my regular sheet, but I will put it on there. Make a note for myself right now. Scan. So you can buy those. They're not real expensive, but they're not real cheap.
Okay.
But the scans that I talked about, let's just use Target, for example. They were one of the first ones. It's been 3 or 4 years ago now, with a lot of information. What they did is they then provide you with one of these scan services for free, no charge to you, for a year. And then part of the agreement with everyone I've seen so far, every time it's happened to me, is that scanning service once a month will send you something. And, you know, typically for me, it said, we've done your scan service. We have found no breaches of your security for the last 30 days. So you have that. But that's once your data has been reached through a company. If you just go out and buy one of these softwares, you know, you can get different levels, different prices, and it will constantly monitor your computer for you.
And that's my computer, but what if your devices are synced? How does that translate to my phone?
Yep. So typically if they're synced, they usually work in conjunction with each other. You just need to confirm that before you buy the product, but they are synced in that way. Yes. So excellent question.
Thank you.
Yep. So one of the ways to protect your passwords and get some difficult passwords is to use a password manager. And I'm just going to spend a couple of minutes on that because GetSetUp, not with me, but with Wade, one of the other guys, has a full class session on password managers. So a password manager is a program that you can get for free, or you can buy an extra version of it at a certain cost, and it will make very difficult passwords for your accounts as you go back to sign in. Once you get the password manager, you can go into your bank, and you can sign in, and then you can have this password manager make a very big, detailed password. And then what you would do is you will sign in through your password manager, and it will automatically give them this difficult password. So again, I would encourage you, if you haven't heard of password manager, if you're not using one, you want to find out a little bit more about it. In the GetSetUp, you know, in the search button, you can just type in password manager, or you can type in Wade, the gentleman that gives this class, and it will tell you what's going on with that. And Wade spends a full hour talking about password managers. So that's one way to build up your strong wall, so to speak, is by having some detailed passwords. Another thing that the hacker suggests is that you monitor your credit reports. Again, at the end of this class, when you get the email from me, I will send you the names of the three big credit monitoring reports and how to make contact with them.